All right, so today we're gonna take a deep dive into this idea of faith versus fear.
Oh yeah,
You know, it's something that I think we all struggle with.
for sure.
And you sent me this video script titled "Faith versus Fear: How to Overcome Life's Toughest Trials."
Right.
And just reading that title, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be good.
Yeah, no, it really sets it up as this kind of like epic battle.
Yeah.
You know, this sort of spiritual war that's going on for our hearts and minds.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's interesting because like right out of the gate,
Yeah.
this script uses all this intense music and these crazy visuals, like storms raging, people looking all distraught.
Oh.
It's like they're not messing around. They're trying to like really set the tone.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting you say that because it reminds me a lot of how
Okay.
like ancient myths and religious texts would often use really dramatic storytelling
Oh yeah.
to convey these like profound spiritual truths.
Right.
It's like this age-old technique for tapping into something very primal in us.
Absolutely. And so this script defines fear
Okay.
as this like sneaky thing that thrives on uncertainty.
Uh-huh.
You know, it kind of whispers these doubts in your ear, makes you feel like you're just totally inadequate.
Right, like you should just give up,
Yeah.
throw in the towel.
Exactly. And then it goes on to say that, you know, fear is not from God.
Interesting.
And it actually quotes Isaiah 41:10,
Okay.
which says, "So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand."
Wow, that's powerful.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, if we believe that God is all powerful and all loving,
Right.
then it stands to reason that that fear must originate from somewhere else.
Absolutely.
You know, outside of that divine sphere.
So then where does faith come in?
Right.
And the script defines faith as this, you know, faith isn't the absence of fear.
Okay.
It's the courage to move forward despite it.
I like that.
Right. And they even pull out Hebrews 11.1,
Uh-huh.
which describes faith as the substance of things hoped for,
Okay.
the evidence of things not seen.
So it's not about pretending that the fear isn't there.
No.
It's about choosing to trust
Right.
and hope, even when we can't see the outcome.
And they use this really cool example of Peter walking on water.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like in the Bible, how as long as he kept his eyes fixed on Jesus,
Right.
he was literally defying gravity.
Yeah, but then...
But the second he started looking at the waves and the storm,
Uh-huh.
fear took over
Totally.
and he started to sink.
It's such a powerful metaphor, right? It's
Yeah, for life.
for those challenges of staying afloat when life gets stormy,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and it makes me wonder, like, what are your storms?
Okay.
What are the things that, you know, make you feel like you're about to go under?
Right, and what helps you to keep your eyes fixed, you know, on that source of strength.
Yeah. What helps you keep moving forward?
So the script then goes on to give these like 3 specific steps for overcoming fear with faith.
I like it. I like it.
So first they say declare God's promises.
Okay.
Like actually speak them out loud even if you're not totally feeling it yet. And they use Joshua 1.9 as an example. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. For the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go.
Like a pep talk from above.
It is. It is. Then step 2 is pray for strength.
Okay.
Like actually invite God into the situation.
Yeah.
And they back this up with Philippians 4.67. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God.
So it's acknowledging that we don't have all the answers.
Yeah.
And that sometimes we need help
Exactly.
from something bigger than ourselves.
And then finally, step
Yeah.
3 is take action in faith.
I like that.
Because faith isn't just like sitting around, you know, wishing for things to get better.
Yeah.
It's about actually doing something.
Right.
Even when you're terrified.
Okay.
And trusting that there's a bigger plan unfolding. And James 2.26 puts it this way. Faith without deeds is dead.
It's about putting that faith into action.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
to illustrate this whole idea of faith in action,
Okay.
the script brings up the story of David and Goliath.
Oh, classic.
I know, right?
Yeah.
This young shepherd going up against a giant warrior.
What was he thinking?
I know.
But you know, that story is such a classic example
Yeah.
of faith trumping fear.
Totally.
Like David was facing this seemingly impossible obstacle,
Right.
but he put his trust in God's power, not his own strength.
And he straight up told Goliath, you know,
Yeah.
you come against me with sword and spear and javelin, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty. That's 1 Samuel 17.45. And boom, One stone, Goliath goes down.
I mean, it's a reminder that even though our giants may look different today,
Right.
the principle remains the same.
So what are your Goliaths?
Ooh, good question.
Like, what are those huge, scary things that just like...
That make you want to hide under the covers.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And how might this whole idea of faith actually help you to face them head on? So, we were just talking about these like Goliath moments.
Right.
Those times when you're facing a challenge that just seems impossible.
Absolutely.
And this script, faith versus fear, how to overcome life's toughest trials. It doesn't try to pretend that those moments don't exist.
Right.
It acknowledges that fear is a natural human experience.
It is.
But it's about what we do with that fear.
Exactly.
How we keep it from like completely taking over.
And that's where faith comes in.
Yeah.
It's not this magical thing that makes fear disappear.
Right.
But it gives us the strength and the courage to keep moving forward.
And the script wraps up with this really powerful message, basically saying, fear might roar, but it's no match for the power of God.
I like that.
Right. And it even includes a closing prayer, asking for help to choose faith over fear, to really trust in those divine promises.
I love that idea of surrender.
Oh, yeah.
Like acknowledging that we don't have all the answers.
Right.
That we need something bigger than ourselves to guide us through.
And it ends with this awesome verse from Psalms 34.4.
Okay.
I sought the Lord, and he answered me. He delivered me from all my fears.
It's like this reminder
Yeah.
that connecting with that divine power,
Right.
whatever that looks like for you, is the key to overcoming fear.
One thing that really strikes me about this whole script is that it doesn't sugarcoat anything.
Right.
It doesn't pretend that fear isn't real or that faith is always easy.
It gets real. About the struggle.
Yeah.
About that internal battle. But it also gives us hope.
Right.
A way to approach those challenges with a sense of possibility.
And that's what makes it so powerful.
Yeah.
It's not about ignoring the fear, but about acknowledging it, understanding it, and then choosing to focus on something bigger.
Exactly.
Something that can help us move forward.
Something that can give us purpose.
This whole conversation has got me thinking about surrender.
Oh, yeah.
It's a word that sometimes has negative connotations,
I know what you mean.
like giving up or weakness.
Right.
But when it comes to faith, I think surrender can actually be incredibly powerful.
It's like saying,
Yeah.
okay, I don't have all the answers,
Right.
but I trust that there's a plan.
And I'm willing to let go of control.
Yeah.
It's so freeing.
It is.
Like finally exhaling after holding your breath for way too long.
It's a great way to put it.
And you can finally breathe again.
And that's the kind of freedom that faith can offer.
Yeah.
That sense of peace that comes from knowing we're not alone in this.
It's like that saying,
Yeah.
courage is not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it.
And faith gives us that courage.
It does.
That strength to face our fears and keep going.
And the more we practice making that choice,
Right.
to choose faith over fear, the easier it becomes.
It's like building a muscle.
It is. It's like learning to ride a bike.
I love that analogy.
At first it's scary and you might fall a few times.
Yeah. Yeah.
But eventually it becomes second nature.
And you can just enjoy the ride.
Exactly.
And then you might even want to share that joy with others.
Oh, yeah.
Encourage them to hop on their own bikes and experience that freedom.
Like, once you've tasted that freedom,
Yeah.
you can't help but want to share it.
It's contagious,
It is.
That sense of hope and possibility, it can inspire others to step into their own courage.
And it's not about forcing our beliefs on anyone,
No.
but just sharing our own experiences,
Right.
offering a different perspective
Exactly.
that might help someone else find their own path to freedom.
And isn't that what this whole deep dive is really about?
I think so.
Exploring these big questions and seeing how they can help us live more meaningful lives.
It's a journey.
It is.
It's not about reaching some perfect state of fearless faith.
It's about learning to navigate the ups and downs
Yeah.
with grace and resilience.
Showing up for ourselves
And for each other,
and for something bigger than ourselves,
even when it's hard.
even when we're scared.
It's about choosing to believe in something more,
Yeah.
something that can guide us through the darkness.
We've been talking about this battle between faith and fear.
Right.
But what if it's not a battle at all? What if it's more like a dance? This back and forth.
That's a really interesting way to look at it.
Yeah, because, I mean, fear isn't always a bad thing, right?
Not at all.
It can be like a warning signal
Right.
that something needs our attention.
Exactly. Like, it can protect us from danger
Yeah.
or motivate us to take action.
Or help us make good decisions.
Yeah.
But it's when fear takes over,
Right?
when it, like, paralyzes us, that it becomes a problem.
Totally.
So how do we know
Yeah.
when fear is being helpful
Ooh, good question.
and when it's holding us back?
I think it comes down to self-awareness.
Okay.
Paying attention to our bodies,
Mm-hmm.
our thoughts,
Yeah.
our feelings.
Like checking in and saying,
Yeah.
okay, what's going on here?
Right.
What's driving this?
Exactly. And sometimes
Yeah.
just naming the fear
Uh-huh.
can help.
It's like shining a light on it.
It's not so scary anymore.
This whole deep dive has been so eye-opening.
I know, right?
Instead of asking, why is this happening to me?
Right.
What if we ask, what is this teaching me?
That's a great question.
It changes our whole perspective.
It does.
We're not victims anymore.
Yeah.
We're students.
We're learning and growing.
The challenges become opportunities
For sure.
to discover something new about ourselves.
Absolutely.
And that's where faith comes in,
Yeah.
to guide us on that journey.
It's about trusting that we have what it takes.
Even when we don't have all the answers.
Exactly.
We don't need a map.
No.
We just need a compass.
And the faith to keep going. Even when the path is unclear.
Yeah.
And sometimes
Sometimes those detours
Yeah.
lead to amazing destinations.
they do.
We might discover hidden strengths or forge deeper connections.
So for anyone out there who's struggling with fear,
Yeah.
feeling lost,
Overwhelmed.
you're not alone.
We all experience fear,
We do.
but we all have the capacity for faith and courage.
It's about choosing to focus on the light,
Yes.
even when we're surrounded by darkness.
Trusting that there's a plan,
Yeah.
even when we can't see it.
Believing in ourselves
In each other.
and in something bigger than ourselves.
Beautifully said.
This deep dive has been a powerful reminder
It has.
that faith isn't about eliminating fear.
Right.
It's about having the courage to dance with it,
To learn from it.
to grow through it.
And remember,
Even small acts of faith can make a big difference.
they can.
So keep exploring.
Yeah.
Keep asking those big questions
Keep choosing to move forward.
with courage and hope.
This has been great.
It had.
We hope this deep dive has inspired you to explore the power of faith in your own life.
Absolutely.
Until next time,
Yes.
keep diving.